Hey, what is going on everybody? JSTCG here coming at you with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and today we're going to be profiling my Runick Spright deck. I switched up my Spright deck in order to play the Runick cards. I was able to get a core, and I really like this version of the deck. I really like the Runick spells, and the fact that the Hugin here is a level 2 plays nicely with the sprites. So this is the version I've been messing around with the most. I do need some of the new Darkwing Blast cards. I haven't picked up that set yet. The set just dropped yesterday. There's not a whole lot that I would probably include besides the new Spright Link monster and test that out in here. But yeah, maybe once Darkwing Blast has been out for a while and I get to play against and with some of the new cards, I'll do an updated version of this. But yeah, this is Spright Runick, so let's take a look and go through everything. So for the monsters, very standard Spright lineup being triple blue, triple jet, then we have one red, one carrot, and the pixies. Yeah, very standard Spright lineup. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm playing 3 swap frog. No dupe frog, just the 3 swaps. So I had these in here for a while when I first built Runick Spright, and then I swapped them out for beavers, and then I tried like the Gale, Dogra, Shadal, Winda play, and you played Schism. That was actually a cool combo and a cool version of the deck. However, 3000 for Gale's effect is quite a bit, especially because you have time rules, although I was playing the red resonator in the side, so tried the game life that way. But I just preferred the frog and toad package, and it's still very easy to pull off. I mean, you really only need the 3 swaps. You can protect it with elf and then just keep bringing it back. The recurability was hit for sure, but I mean, it's still a card you can keep bringing back, and I think it's worth playing. So I put the frogs back in and I took out all the other stuff. Plus the extra deck is super tight, so making room for the 2 Shadal fusions, Abcalone and Winda, that was space that I felt like I couldn't afford. So it freed up 2 spots in the extra deck, and then I just like the Toad package still personally, but that's just me. And then we play some hand traps in this version. So I'm on 3 Ash, just very generic, and 3 Nib. Nib is kind of good again. I mean, depends on what deck you're playing against. You can always side these out for something else, but I like maining these. But yeah, we'll see if Nib changes at all come Darkwing Blast and once more people are using the new cards, but it's been working out pretty good so far. So for the spells, we have our Spright cards, being of course the 3 starter and the 1 smashers. Then moving on to the Runick spells, we have of course 3 Runick Tip, then we have 3 Flashing Fire, 3 Freezing Curses, 3 Destruction, and then we have Double Fountain. The last spell is Called by the Grave. I'll just set that here now. But talking about the Runicks, all of these are insanely powerful. I was playing 1 Fountain, but I added in the second copy. I think you need 2. It is searchable, but if they turn 1 off or 1 gets destroyed, it is nice having the second one. It is just kind of unfortunate when you open both or you see both really close to each other, but I'd rather have the second one and not need it than just playing the 1 and wishing I had a second copy. Good for the grind game, but yeah, I think 2 is very necessary. The cool thing with the Runicks too is, you guys probably already know, they have insane effects. You can pop a monster or negate its effects or pop a spell or trap, but then you have to skip your battle phase. Also, another thing to point out that you probably already know, but if you're new to the deck or you're new to learning about the Runick cards, when you skip your battle phase, it's important that you still attempt to enter the battle phase. Otherwise, if you just totally breeze over it, it doesn't count as skipping, and then when your next battle phase comes up, and you, let's say you go into the battle phase at that point, it'll get skipped. So just make sure you're very clear and communicating with your opponent that, hey, I'm attempting to enter the battle phase. Due to my Runick card, it's going to be skipped, and then carry on. And then the last card is just one trap card, and that of course is 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. It's an even 40 card deck. I really like it. I think it's been playing really smooth, and the only thing that might change up in the future is the hand trap lineup. I know some builds like to go really heavy with the Runick cards. They like to play more of the fusion than I play, and they like to play other spells that I don't have in here. I do have all the extra spell cards off to the side, and I might start testing them out and seeing how I feel about playing more Runicks in the main deck and maybe cutting something else. Some people don't play that many hand traps and they add in more of the Runick cards, so we'll see. But honestly, I really like this deck and it's been a blast to play. So moving on to the extra deck, for the fusions I'm playing 2 Hugin and the 1 Runick Fangs. It looks like his name's Jerry, but I feel like Jerry's such a derpy name. So yeah, we're just gonna call him Runick Fangs. Honestly, I don't go into him a whole lot. If you do want to play just straight up 3 Hugin, you probably could, but I like having the 1 Runick Fangs as well. I personally never felt like I needed the 3rd Hugin. I think maybe if you do tend to go into the grind game more often, or if you do decide to play more of the Runick spells, then you could probably bump this up. You could either cut this or cut something else to just include the 3rd Hugin and keep this in if you want. But then for the links, I am on triple elf. Now, speaking of grind game, I definitely have gone into the 3rd elf a few times. I was playing 2, but there were a few instances where I felt like I would have liked to see the 3rd elf, so I included the 3rd one. Extra deck space is pretty tight in this build. Like I said, I had the Shadal cards in here as well, so you can imagine how I was scrambling around trying to figure out what to include, what to cut. But yeah, I mean, taking those out freed up 2 spots, which was nice. So anyways, triple Sprite Elf, I think that's kind of the way to go. You could get away with 2. I was playing 2 for a while, but I just decided to add the 3rd one in. And then we have, of course, IP, Dark, and then we have Cerberus and Unicorn. And then for like our boss monsters, I play the 1 Avramax and then the 1 Unchained Abomination. Some people play one or the other. I decided to go with both. Avramax is just a beast, and Unchained Abomination is really cool because in simpler game states, this card can put in a lot of work. I mean, he's popping cards left and right, and on top of that, he's got 3,000 attack. So I like both. Depending on what the game's looking like, you go into either one. I was playing Soul Sweeper in here as well, and I kind of miss having that. That was a pretty cool Exceed monster, so I don't know exactly which one I would cut. I'd probably be the Abomination if I wanted to add him back in, but for the Exceeds, I'm just on the 2 Gigantic and the 1 Totally Awesome for right now. Gigantic's really good because when you use Hugin to overlay for him, he gets the attack boost. And as always, the side deck is personal preference. It's still a work in progress. Darkwing Blast just came out. We don't really know what the meta is going to look like, but basically here's what we have going on. So triple Ghost Bell, triple DD Crow. These are all really good. If you don't need Nibiru, you can side that out and add in one of these or a mix of both. These are just great against Tearlament and other graveyard-based decks. Then we have 1 Pank and the 1 Red Resonator for our monsters. The spells are just back row hate, so I play 3 copies of Cosmic and a Harpy's Feather Duster. It is nice because the Runicks have their own built-in back row hate, but you do get your battle phase skipped, so I feel like if I need to clear out more back row or I want to actually go into my battle phase, I can play one of these and then just clear the back row that I'm afraid of, and then we play the Dimensional Barrier. So there guys have it, that is my Runick Spright deck profile. In another video, I'll probably do either a couple combos or maybe some test hands and just kind of show you the concept of this deck. But then after that, we're going to be going back to my roots and I'm going to be talking about and playing Dragon Link. But we have the new Bestial cards, so I'm going to be adding those into the deck, and that's kind of what this channel is going to be focused on for the foreseeable future. I'll probably do some separate deck profiles here and there. For those of you that are still watching, I'll just tell you the story. Basically, my main deck for the longest time was Dragon Link, and then I set it aside when Power of the Elements came out. I picked up the tier stuff and the Sprite stuff and messed around with different versions of those decks. You know, they are like the top 2 best decks, and they power crept Dragon Link quite a bit, but now the Bystials are out and they're a great addition to Dragon Link and Dragon Maids. So yeah, I'm very excited to go back to playing my favorite deck of all time, and I hope you guys are excited to see what those videos look like. But honestly, Runick Spright is gonna be like my second deck I have ready to go if I want to play something different one day, or I want to just, you know, change it up from Dragon Link. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you take care. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like button. That really helps me out. Stay tuned for more videos coming in the future. I'm super hyped to make those for you and go over some of the new cards and the new decks, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.